Hey everybody, it's Brian from VideoGamersEdge, and I am very proud to announce that I'm bringing you today my first ever video for this channel. Yeah! Alright, down to business. Now to start this channel off with a bang, me and my fellow conspirators have decided to pick a game that we each felt a personal connection to. Evan got Luigi's Mansion, Jerry got Pokemon Red, Blue, Green, Turquoise, Illuminescent, Pink, whatever, Pokemon. And I have a story to tell you. The year is 2004, and the month is June. This was a more innocent time, when the Red Sox were still good, Jersey Shore hadn't been invented yet, and a young, impressionable boy was making his way to GameStop to pick up a shiny new game. That game was Kingdom Hearts. This game, wow. To this date, it still stands as the only game I've played front to back 5 times. Back before YouTube, I'd play the game up to cutscenes I liked just to see them again. I like this game. But going back to it after all this time makes me realize there are some pretty decent-sized problems here. So, without further ado, let's take a look. The story is actually pretty great, and I'll get to that later on, but this being a Disney product, we do get some really bad lines every once in a while.
Gorge, is that all that's left of the worlds taken by the Heartless?
Those worlds will be restored if we beat Ansem, right?
You betcha!
My heart will stay with my friends. It'll never die!
Really? Well, we'll just see about that!
Ready to make a splash, you codfish? Now it's your turn to walk the plank.
Lights! But why?
Yeah, that's not so good. Also, quick tip for up-and-coming developers. If you want camera control in your game to work, that goes here, not here. For the most part, the bosses are actually really good, but there are some exceptions. Case in point, the Oogie Boogie House, the incredibly anticlimactic behemoth at the end of Hall of Bastion, and the goddamn pot centipede. Yes. There is a boss in this game called the pot centipede. Not like big giant world-eating pots, just, you know, pots. The ones that are all throughout the game, and sometimes you hit them and some health bubbles will come out. Those pots. It's a boss. And no, I'm not going to make the obvious joke that I could make with something called the pot centipede. Trust me, I dealt with that one already. So, yeah, those are the only real big issues I have with the game. I mean, I could nitpick for what... I mean, you know, let's that's it. Let's move on to good stuff. Oh no. Yep, the gummy ship. This is definitely the worst part of the game. It's a horribly boring way to travel, the segments last forever, and worst of all, a good amount of rewards in the game are nothing but freaking gummy ship parts. You know, during one playthrough, I went through the stupidly convoluted process of completely upgrading the gummy ship. Full armor, boost, missiles, the works. You know how much difference it makes? Zero. None. Every time after that, I just played through with the default and never died once. Just hold X, close your eyes, move the left stick around once in a while, and bam, you win every gummy ship section. And now, what everyone's been waiting for, the good parts. Let's start off with the story. It's pretty basic for the most part. You got your main character, you got your rival, and you got your girl. Adventures and hilarity ensue across 12 worlds, mostly Disney-themed, with some plot-specific worlds thrown in. Despite the relatively basic setup, the story unfolds really well, thanks to great pacing, surprisingly sympathetic characters, and, of course, the amazing ending. Actually, now that I think about it, I think the story is why I love this game so much. It's got a certain innocence about it, and yet deals with really dark themes sometimes. And that combines with a big burst of nostalgia to create a perfect, giant, gaming hurricane of awesome. Yes, that is a term now. So, combat. I hear a lot of people say this is just a button masher, and you know what? I'll buy that. I'm not going to be an asshole and say you're not playing it right. What I will say is that when it comes down to it, this system is as deep as you want it to be. I mean, you have all these spells at your disposal, plus a bunch of special moves. I mean, sure, it's entirely possible to get through the majority of the game by just mashing X, but do you really want to do that? No, because that's no fun. And you know what video games are for? Fun. Fun. Now for my thoughts on the platforming. So with that out of the way, let's get to my favorite part of the day, graphics, with our special correspondent, JohnnyGraphics. Take it away, Johnny.
Gee, thanks, bro. Now, ignoring the fact that I'm definitely not Brian with sunglasses and a awesome Hartford Whalers hat, let's talk about this game. You know, for a 10-year-old game, these graphics are pretty rad. I mean, it's got all these bright colors and all that you don't see in today's high-definition games. You know what? This holds up better than an armadillo in New Mexico. It gets Johnny's seal of approval. Back to you.
Gee, Johnny, thanks. That was really off the chain. Alright, final thoughts. So, yeah, this is a pretty great game. It doesn't hold up quite as well as I remember, but it's still a classic and definitely in my top 5 of all time. Even after 10 years, this one is a must-play. So yeah, that's about all I've got for the day. Be sure to check out Evan's Luigi's Mansion walkthrough. If it's not up by now, it will be very shortly. And speaking of shortly, I'll have a new video up shortly in about a week. So, just one more thing before I go. Great comedian once said, always close on your best joke. And here's mine. A squirrel walks into a bar, you see, and goes up to the bartender and he asks for a drink. But he doesn't pay. And so the bartender yells at him, "You think you can get away without paying in my bar? You must be nuts!" I'll see you next week.